Are you gonna sit in on the video? This is Stella, everyone. She's like 2, 3? How old are you? She's a menace, but she's adorable. I haven't done this in a hot minute. It's been a real hot minute since I've done this. And this type of video I haven't done in ever, actually, come to think of it. Okay, so back in October, Joe Perez reached out to me about doing a photo shoot for American Mile, the band that I work with quite a lot. They're on the upswing. They just had a show in Vegas. It went absolutely great. It was fantastic. They need new content. They have a new drummer. New year coming up, end of the year photo shoot. They're finally winding down with their 200 and something shows this year. So I started coming up with ideas for the photo shoot, and I had this vision. I don't know, it seemed like a cool idea to me. I feel like I'm chopping my head off a bit when I sit up straight, which I need to be doing more of because my chiropractor basically said I don't have good posture because I'm up like this all the time. It's not good. Anyway, so I had this idea of shooting the band out in the desert. Super original, I know. But it wasn't so much about the desert, but it was gonna be the structure that I was gonna have behind the band. I really wanted to get the initials, American Mile, AM, built out in a wooden structure lined with lights. Just saying that, it kind of sounds hokey and it kind of sounds dumb, but I wanted to do it big. I wanted to do it super big. There's a photographer's word. Hey! Cats are fighting. They don't fight, but they like roughhouse, and it's not. Hey! Get off my sandbags. There's a certain photographer that I really enjoy, and his name's Rodney Smith. He died in 2016, and I honestly don't know that much about the guy other than his work and when he died. But he still has an Instagram page that's run by his estate, and I absolutely love his work. And although my photo shoot's not really going to have like Rodney Smith things, there was an ideology about his work that I really enjoy, and it was the fact that he would take his subjects and he puts them in vast areas, but there was always something massive within the photos. There was always a big object that also was a character within the scene. And that's something that really spoke to me about his work, and something that I really enjoy, and something that I feel like I noticed, and it's maybe not as well noticed about his work. I think if somebody knows about Rodney Smith, they think of his symmetry, which he was absolutely known for. However, it was also the use of these very large objects within his frame. So that is where I pulled some of my inspiration from, and I wanted to explain I didn't want to explain any of this to the band because I don't think that they really care. They just need the cool looking photos. Now, I've never built anything like this big. I have a bit of a woodworking background as far as I did a lot of it as a kid, and I've been around it a good bit on construction sites and things. It's not my forte at all. You know, back in Daytona, I actually had a place to kind of like spread out and work, but now I've just got tandem parking, and yeah, it's a little challenging sometimes. Y'all know Dharma. Dharma's my little buddy. So building the wooden structure was going to be quite the challenge because I also knew that it was going to have to be very, very tall. So I took a trip to Home Depot. Now I wanted to minimize the amount of work that was going to go into building something like this as much as possible because I was going to have to transport it an hour and a half out into the desert. And my car doesn't have a tow hitch or a roof rack, so I was going to have to rent a U-Haul. I found 2x4s that were 12 feet long, and they were pressure treated. They already had a nice tone to them, so I wouldn't have to do any finishing work on them. I didn't mind going for a bit of a more rustic looking, thrown together as if it had been sitting out in the desert for like 30 years type of deal. So once I did all the math and I did all the measurements and I bought all the wood and everything, I started putting everything together. Alright, so I finished the letter A. One of the difficulties is it's 12 feet tall. Sorry, flickering lights. I'm literally staying right under it. I don't even have enough room in my garage to stand it up, so I have really no idea of what it really looks like. Just figuring out how to do these cuts and make the A's and line up perfectly to a point and the M's down here. It was very difficult because also I didn't want it to look like a crazy wacky wingdings font. I wanted it to have a bit, it had to look uniform. They all had to stand up straight and they all had to be able to look the same type of size. But man, I'll tell you, it was a bit of a headache trying to figure all that out. I'm having like the hardest time figuring out how to make these cuts. I mean, geometry was just not my thing back in school. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. But I did. Okay, so now the next thing is going to be taking it out Saturday with Robert, and we're gonna get some test shots with it at sunset, and we're gonna see how it looks. I gotta get a U-Haul. So I got the U-Haul. And I got Robert, because I needed Robert. I didn't know I needed Robert until we got out there and we started doing it, and I was like, I needed Robert out there. I needed Robert. I couldn't have done this without Robert. So the original idea of getting the structures planted into the dirt was using these twirly, cue things that I think are meant for like dog leashes in your front yard. The problem is they don't work. They don't stay in the ground. They just, they do that. Once you get them in, they stay there. So. But I was like, there's sand in the desert. And there's like harder dirt. It should just screw right in. Nope. I know what I'm doing. I swear I know what I'm doing. I didn't plan for any of this. Those little twirly things were supposed to work. Even my wife said that they wouldn't work, but I was stubborn. Didn't work. They're the bane of my existence. I got 4 of them. Anybody wants them, hit me up. Nothing to use them for. As far as I'm concerned, they look like bunny ears for a robot, basically. These structures are 12 feet tall. Okay, so I am a little concerned. The M is a bit delicate. It's gonna be difficult to stand it up, and I'm afraid it could go somewhere, but I have other wood screws that I'm going to throw into the joints right here to help stabilize it a little bit more, and then I think I'm gonna get some beefier L brackets. Mind you, they're going to have about 50 bulbs attached to them, so if they fall over, game over on the bulbs. So we took a trip to Ace Hardware, which luckily was only 10 minutes away from out in the desert. I don't know how I lucked out on that, but good job, Will. The second plan basically was sledgehammering a bunch of 2x4s into the dirt. I don't know why I thought that would work. It didn't. Stupid, okay? As a backup third plan for the first 2 ideas, basically, I went ahead and bought a 60-pound bag of Quikrete, which I've never used before in my life.
Told you we needed a shovel.
Have you ever used Quikrete before?
Me?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Cool, I've never used it.
Okay.
I was quite the idiot too, because I didn't know how long it was going to take for it to cure or harden or whatever. But it said quick right before it said crete, so I was like, shouldn't be that long, right? There goes the sun. Enjoy the sun. I'm not crying, I have dust in my eyes. I am crying, but I'm out of breath. Is this worth it, Robert?
I don't know, man.
I really don't know if this is worth it. I know Joe, Eugene, and Colton and Des won't appreciate any of the hard work. They're gonna come out and be like, oh, this looks beautiful. This is so pretty. And Joe's gonna be like, can I go home now? Luckily, we'd gotten out there a little bit earlier before sunset, but we were losing light quite fast. So we dug holes, cut 2x4s, and cemented them into the ground.
Now you're throwing dirt at
Mind you, today is the day before the shoot. So I'm really hoping that those posts are still out there, because there's dirt bike riders that drive around there all the time. I'm hoping nobody's pulled them out. I mean, they're cemented in, right? Right? I don't know. So anyway, the wooden structures are built, and they're broken down, and they're easy to transport. Tomorrow I'm picking up the U-Haul at 9 a.m. and then going to pick up Robert, and we're gonna try to get there around 11 or 11:30 and get everything set up. And then the band will show up around 2. I created that buffer for anything that might go wrong, which could be everything. With 2024 coming to an end, I've had a lot of time to really think about my career and basically everything that I've been working on this year. And it's been filled with a lot of working in reality TV and shooting a lot of music videos, which I've loved the music videos. Can't stand reality TV. I used to take a lot of photos. I used to be kind of a photographer before I even was a videographer, so I really wanted to get back into it. So I'm really stoked that I'm going to be shooting tomorrow's photos on this camera. This is a Pentax 645Z, and it's an amazing camera, and I know it's about 10 years old, but it was a dream camera of mine when I was first getting into video and photography, and I've always wanted one, and I finally picked one up earlier this year. So I knew these photos had to be shot on this guy. Ultimately, tomorrow's gonna have so many moving parts, and hopefully everything goes over okay. But I really don't know. It's a very ambitious shoot for me, at least, because I've never done anything this big where I'm literally building the set and then coordinating styling with the band, and then also having to think about how I want the photos to end up looking. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also super excited because it is nice having that feeling of this is something that's bigger than I've ever tried, and it really pushes me out of my comfort zone. Anyway, as for today, it's just gonna be prepping, making sure all the batteries are charged, making sure all my wireless battery banks can power all my lights and the string lights of the structure and everything. Hoping that there'll be no massive hurricane-sized gusts of wind tomorrow that blow over the structure, and that the stakes are still cemented into the ground. I really hope they're there. As soon as that sun hits right behind the mountain, you're gonna be good to go. I don't know why this video has been difficult to make. So fast forward a couple of weeks, photos have been done. I finished them a while ago, but I really wanted to film this to kind of close up the video and also kind of explain what happened. Well, we did it. Dude, do you see all the dust on that lens? I don't think I even cleaned it off. Band's gonna be here in about 2 hours. So we got just about enough time. Now that we've set it up once, I think it's gonna be easy peasy. It went off without a hitch, basically. Everything couldn't have gone better. I couldn't have had a more beautiful sky. No clouds. The wind's really not that bad, which is great. I'm kind of stunned and floored how everything came out. It really did end up coming out the way I pictured it in my head, which was super satisfying for me because this shoot was also of me kind of breaking free of something and kind of leaving something in a job area that I've been stuck in for 3 years. This really told me where I want to go and what I want to be doing. And I'm super proud of these images, and I want to make more things like this for sure, and more videos like this. Let me sum up what went down. They're still here, and look, it's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. The studs were still in the ground, thankfully. I was so paranoid. We connected 2x4s to the studs, and then we connected the A and the M to basically those 2x4s. All right, so what we gotta do is we're gonna have to dig a trench and, oh, check this out. It looks like I have a knife shovel. I can Minecraft so hard with this now. I can kill zombies and make a garden. It's gonna be amazing. Now, I hadn't measured them out perfectly so that they weren't all even. So we really had to put blocks in there and throw a ton of screws in. And then luckily I brought a level with me and we were able to kind of balance them on the 2x4 on the base and level them out. Let me just look at it. Let's see visually.
It's level.
Oh yeah, that does look way better. And wouldn't you know, after it was all said and done, it didn't look good on the base at all, but we covered it all up with sand, and the A and the M were completely straight, leveled, and facing the right direction. It took me and Robert probably just about an hour to get everything set up. The band showed up, that was amazing. They actually came. Okay, we got it fully up now. The M is a little bit more stable, but the wind's still moving it a little bit, but with the concrete posts in the ground, I think that we should be okay. Oh, they showed up. Hello. They did nothing.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, you guys need help?
Okay.
All right, let's get it done.
And we immediately started going into wardrobe. And when I mean going into wardrobe, there was clothes absolutely everywhere. Everybody brought so many clothes. I even brought some of my own stuff for the band. But ultimately, we were doing 2 looks. We had a lot of time before sunset was gonna hit, so we did some other shots out in the other desert region area. It's so bright. Everything's going okay so far. This is our first look. Not even using all the hard work that we put in yet, but the moment's gonna be right. As soon as that sun hits right behind the mountain, we're gonna be good to go. came out amazing as well, on top of this really cool rock. I'm super happy with these photos. They came out way better than I was even expecting. So after we finished that, I thought, well, let's move to the letters, because it was starting to get around sunset and I wanted plenty of time to play around with the light. To the AM now. You can guess what the initials are in your comments. We shot a lot and I was just experimenting with different things. Do I go right? Do I go left? I don't know yet. 3:45, we got like 30 minutes before that sun starts dipping behind the mountain. Different poses with how I could fit them in within the structure and also show it without them blocking it too much. That was quite a challenge. Come on, dude, look. Just a little bit more and we'll be good. So once I knew the exact like poses that I wanted them to be in, where to stand them, there was a lot of micro adjustments. Everybody take 3 steps forward. Joe, take a step. Colton, micro step to your right. So Joe and Eugene step forward just another half step. Dez, go to your left. Eugene and Dez create a little space. Very small. Come forward more. A little bit more, a little bit more. All right, let's move into the structure. Right there. Move that way just a smidge. I was constantly having to move them to like really fit them in the area, also trying to get the sun in the background. I'm sure they got annoyed with me at some point for sure. Except Joe. Joe thinks we're geniuses.
Dude, that shit. Will and Robert are geniuses.
Anyway, the sun kept going down. We got the ball drop happening right now.
Yep.
Boom. This is the big moment. This has been like 2 months in planning.
You like that?
I hope I nailed the shot.
I think you got
We
it.
need the actual shot. You're on the 50. I know you're on the 50 right now. Quit getting my double chin. And then finally, I was just taking photos and then I like looked up and I saw the sky and I go, this is it. This is the moment right now. This is where the light needs to be. All my strobes are dialed in. They're standing in the perfect spot. It's just absolutely perfect. And out of all the photos that I took, this photo right here is probably my favorite. I love this photo so much. It was exactly how I envisioned it. And it was so satisfying to me when I was editing this photo to know that not everything that comes into my head is absolutely stupid and that sometimes I can make it, basically. Getting super philosophical and sappy right now, sorry. Anyway, that's it. We basically did the thing. At the very end, in the pitch black, we did a fun little set of them all in, dressed in black too. And those ended up turning out super cool as well. I was really happy with those. And that was just a couple of bonus photos. And then I had them destroy it. And we had to clean everything up. So, yeah. I really want to be able to do more of this with the people around me that I care about. I really hope that this year holds that for me. And I don't really know if it's attainable, but I do know I'm gonna give it a shot this year. I'm gonna give a lot of things a shot this year. I moved here to LA with really not much and not a job option or anything. And over the past about 4 years that I've lived here, I've made a lot of connections and friends. And I think it's time that I really start taking some more risks again and pushing myself. I don't want to be stagnant anymore. So expect to see me more on here. There'll be new stuff coming. I've already got new videos in the making. And I've got a really cool set of Blazar anamorphic lenses on the way that I'm so stoked to test out, and I can't wait to do a review on them. Shooting a short film and everything. I'm gonna shut up. Different video. Like, subscribe. Does anyone say that anymore? I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube or anything. I canceled all my video subscriptions today too. I'm really gonna try to get this channel up to 1,000 followers, and I'm gonna be uploading a lot more content like this, but well, more thought out, because I know this is a bit all over the place, and I'm sorry. My brain's a little weird and I'm a little rusty. So happy 2025. Have a positive year. Try to stay positive. I know I'm really trying to focus on myself and being a more positive person, because I believe that good things come to you or will come back to you when you do that. Peace. Dude, I don't want a shot of my double chin. We just doing this? Is it literally just like my nose? I don't know how to end this. I really don't know how to end this. hey guys, hit the like and subscribe button. I don't even know where it's at. Is it on this side or this side? I don't remember. This has not been an easy video to make.